Stop thinking, go to the gym. How many times have you said the phrase thinking about it? I'm thinking about starting the gym. I'm thinking about starting that business. You know what? I should go ahead and lose weight. You know what? I should go ahead and go to the gym and actually work out. And, exercising is really good for me. So why don't I go ahead and do it? Now, when you say the phrase thinking about it, how many times you actually think about doing something and you actually go ahead and do it? How many times have you told someone that you want to go ahead and start the gym, you want to go ahead and start something new, which is good for you, but you don't actually start it? Probably a lot, right? And I honestly don't blame you because so many people say this phrase thinking about it. They think about starting the gym, they think about losing weight. And when you go ahead and actually analyze and think about these things, you give yourself a false sense of progress, right? You think that you're making progress just by analyzing your goals and aspirations, which of course it can be a good thing, to go ahead and visualize and imagine, you doing something good. But the most important thing is that you actually go ahead and take action. And people get a lot of dopamine and they literally program themselves to get a lot of dopamine just from thinking about making progress, but they don't actually go ahead and make progress. Now, the biggest reason, in my opinion, as to why people don't start the gym is the fear of looking stupid or the fear of being judged by others. And a lot of people, they don't want to go ahead and admit this, but they actually care a lot about what other people think about them, right? And you think that, okay, since I'm new to the gym, I'm not going to go ahead and know what to do. I don't know what exercises to do. I don't know what muscle groups to work in and stuff. You think that everyone is going to go ahead and look at you and point fingers at you and think like, what is this guy doing, right? But every single person who is in that gym, which you're scared to go in and you're going to think that everyone's going to judge you and stuff, everyone had their first day. Everyone had their embarrassing time in the gym. And there's nothing wrong with that, right? And the reality is that nobody's actually making fun of you. It's just your own anxiety, your own mind. And since you fear having this new environment, you think that everyone is just gonna go ahead and judge you and make fun of you, but that's not the case, right? And the second thing which people do is that they wait for the moment to feel ready. They wait for the perfect amount of motivation. And you go ahead and say things like, you know what? I have exams right now at school. And when my exams finish, I'm actually going to go ahead and go to the gym then. You know what? When school break starts, that's when I'm going to go. You know what? When I have more free time off of work, then I'm going to go ahead and start the gym. When you just say these things in your own head and you tell this to somebody else, as I said, you get so much more dopamine, by saying things like, I'm thinking about starting the gym, I'm thinking about losing weight, You think these things, but you don't actually do them. And you have this false sense of progress in your own head. You think that you're making progress, but real progress is actually going ahead and showing up and taking action, right? The real reason why people don't want to go ahead and start the gym is they're scared of leaving their comfort zone. And everyone says, leave your comfort zone, screw the comfort zone. But what does that actually mean? Well, your comfort zone, for instance, it can be just, living your normal day-to-day life. You go to work, you go to school, you talk to the same people, you do the same habits. And the growth zone, or basically leaving your comfort zone, is gonna be uncomfortable. And for your case, it can be, actually getting a gym membership and actually going to a gym and exercising and just doing something new. And the longer you stay outside of your comfort zone, guess what? It becomes your comfort zone. So literally by just going to the gym and staying consistent in the gym and just showing up to the gym is going to start becoming more comfortable. And it's not going to be this fear, there's this anxiety of just going to the gym and stuff. The longer you stay out of your comfort zone, the more comfortable it's going to become, right? So even if you're, for example, or somebody who is shy, you have like 1 to like 2 friends, right? I wrote 12, but whatever. You know what? Just by going ahead and just talking to more people, it's going to go ahead and make you more comfortable with actually approaching other people and being in social situations, right? So really, the biggest thing holding you back is your own comfort zone, right? And honestly, we are programmed as humans to go ahead and enjoy being in our comfort zones. Like, we have this fear of the unknown, since from, like, I don't know, you can look at it through like historically and stuff, like we have kind of like grown and evolved to fear the unknown because it's scary, right? You don't know what's gonna happen, right? You've never seen it with your own eyes, right? What could happen. But the reality is that nothing bad will happen if you actually step foot in the gym. And the sad reality is that the longer you wait, the longer you will stay unsatisfied. So what you need to do is stop waiting for the perfect moment, stop waiting for the perfect motivation to hit this perfect day, this perfect spark of, dopamine motivation to go ahead and start the gym. You know what? Those perfect days where it's all sunshine and rainbows, you want to go ahead and actually go to the gym, those days happen, but it only happens to the people who actually go to the gym consistently. When you have been going to the gym for months and years and you actually enjoy going to the gym, that's when you're going to go ahead and have those moments, right? And you're not going to have this like perfect day where you just wake up and you think, you know what, I want to conquer the day, even though you've never done anything productive in your life. That's not going to happen. So what you need to do is just start. You don't need like this perfect start, this perfect, like setup or anything. What you need to do is small actionable steps, which I have in this video itself, that you need to go ahead and take. And you can pause the video or do these things after the video, which is actually going to go ahead and push you forward, and you're actually going to go ahead and make progress, because I'm assuming you're watching this video because you actually want to go ahead and make progress in your life. So here are the actionable steps. This is completely simple, but literally go on Google Maps and search for the closest gym. Look how I mentioned the word closest. I didn't say the best gym in your town, your city. I said the closest gym near you, near your home, okay? Don't choose the perfect, oh, you know what, I gotta analyze every single gym and stuff. You know what? If the gym seems fine, then just go ahead and choose it, right? It doesn't have to be this perfect 5-star gym or whatever. Just literally choose the gym which is closest to you. If there's 2 gyms which are close to you, choose one of them, right? So just literally go ahead and go on Google Maps and choose a gym and get a gym membership, or just go ahead and go to the gym and just ask the people who work there, how's the gym like? How can I get a membership? Do something. Just like actually doing something, going ahead and just even getting a membership is progress, because you've always procrastinated taking this step. So this is actually very big progress, right? And there's going to be some people who say, you know what, I don't have any gym near me. There's no gyms in whatever country I'm living in, or whatever town I'm living in. And so that you'll just have to go ahead and work out from home, or go ahead and do calisthenics, right? And you can most definitely build an aesthetic physique. You can go ahead and most definitely build muscle, lose weight. You can most definitely make progress in your fitness just by working out from home and doing calisthenics, right? But it just takes a different approach. And I can leave that for a different video. But when you go ahead and actually have a gym membership and it's your first day, you know what? You shouldn't go ahead and try and have this perfect workout, this super hard, long, high intensity workout, right? What you need is just a 10 to 30 minute workout, just doing a few exercises, right? Because honestly, like, you shouldn't expect yourself to just go ahead and work out for hours and super hard and super high intensity, right? Literally progress for you, if you already went ahead and got the gym membership, is just by literally stepping foot in the gym. Instead of being on your computer, you actually get your shoes, you tie your shoes and stuff, you go ahead and get your jacket, you go outside. It's uncomfortable, you actually step foot in the gym, which you went ahead and actually got the gym membership, right? That is progress. And I don't care what anybody says, right? So really, you should go ahead and make these small goals of just like working out for 10 to 30 minutes. That's it. And a little tip, which I forgot to add here, is you should actually go with a friend. You should go with a family member, because it's so much more comfortable going with a friend, and it's so much fun to work out with a training partner and stuff. And it's going to be way easier for you to actually have a successful first day in the gym. So really, the longer you actually go to the gym, it will become more comfortable, right? And you should go ahead and start easy. Start easy, because actually a lot of beginners, they also make this mistake of just they go to the gym and it's their first few weeks and they just put so much pressure on themselves since they haven't worked out in years and stuff, or they never worked out in their life. They think that, you know what, I have to go ahead and lose all this weight which I've gained throughout years and years. But what you actually need to do is start off small. And as I said, 10 to 30 minutes, that is it. You know what? 10 minutes. If you're worked out for 10 minutes, you should see that as a win. Okay. And then you can most definitely gradually increase the workout duration and all that kind of stuff. So yeah. And if you've enjoyed this video and you actually enjoyed the content which you watch from me, make sure to like and subscribe. And I actually have a Skool community, which is the Aesthetic Academy. If you are somebody who wants to go ahead and get aesthetic, build an attractive body, then you should most definitely join this Skool community, right? Because it is literally a community with like-minded people who share the same goal of wanting to go ahead and get aesthetic in the gym. And if that sounds something which you might be interested in, make sure to check out the Skool community below. And thank you for watching this video.